everyone, and welcome to Library Storytime. So glad you could join me today. A few things I want to tell you. This will be our last story time until January 10th. The week of January 10th is when we'll all start our story times back up. Give everybody a little break, and you'll be plenty busy with the holidays coming too. So I know that you're getting ready for the holidays. And so today our stories will be some holiday stories. There are several holidays in December, not just Christmas. Hanukkah's coming. That's very exciting. So we have a story, a Hanukkah story. And this is Sammy's spider. And we'll have the Sammy's story here in a little bit. I wanted to let you know that Hanukkah starts December 10th and it runs for 8 days. And so that's Sammy's spider, and we'll see how Sammy celebrates Hanukkah. And we're going to have Mouse's First Christmas by Lauren Thompson. And I wanted to introduce a new book to you called Mr. Scruff. Now, it's not a Christmas book per se, but it is a book about the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of giving. This little boy, you'll see, he's going to give the gift of a home to Mr. Scruff. So we'll have that story. And our craft this week. Come by the library, pick up your craft. It's going to be a candy cane mouse. So you'll have all the pieces to make a mouse. And then you can very carefully weave your candy cane as the tail. You can either hang it on your tree as an ornament or hang it somewhere, or you could just eat the candy cane too. That'd be fun. So please come and get your candy cane mouse to make. Thank you. All right, I'm, like I said, so glad you're with me today. And let's get started because our first book today, Mr. Scruff by Simon James. It's a new book, and I thought you would like it. It's also a rhyming book, and rhyming is so vital at this age. This is Polly. She belongs to Molly. Polly, Molly, that rhymes. This is Eric. He belongs to Derek. This is Minnie. I wonder who Minnie would belong to. She belongs to Vinny. But who's this? It's Mr. Scruff. For Mr. Scruff, there's no one. He's all alone in the shelter. This is Mick. I wonder who he belongs to. He belongs to Rick. Mick, Rick. And this is Lawrence. He belongs to Florence. But things are looking rough for poor old Mr. Scruff. Wait a minute. Who's this? It's Jim. They seem to like each other. There's Mr. Scruff and there's Jim. But Jim, says Dad, are you sure? He's so big and you're so small. I don't see it working. No, not at all. He's so old, says Mom, and you're so young. Surely a puppy would be more fun. No, says Jim. He needs a home. a place to call his very own. That's what he needs, and that's enough for me and Mr. Scruff. There they go. Mr. Scruff has found a home. So while Polly has Molly, Eric has Derek, Minnie has Vinny, Mick has Rick, and Lawrence has Florence, now Mr. Scruff belongs to Jim. And though it doesn't rhyme, it's all worked out just fine. But wait a minute. Who's this? It's Mr. Gruff. He's come to choose a dog. Here's a little pup. They seem to like each other. I'm so big and you're so small. But that doesn't matter. No, not at all, said Mr. Gruff. Mr. Gruff is happy. It's the perfect dog for him. Can you guess the puppy's name? Well, of course, it's Tim. Him, Tim. And that's Mr. Gruff and Tim. And we have, oh, looky there. And there's Mr. Scruff and Jim. What a wonderful story about the love of home and having a good home and taking care of our pets. So that's Mr. Scruff. You can check it out at the library. Put it on hold. So thank you for that. I thought it was delightful. And now let's look at Mouse's first Christmas because you're going to make a candy cane mouse. But in this book by Lauren Thompson, Mouse's First Christmas, I want you to try to guess what Mouse sees. It's Mouse's First Christmas by Lauren Thompson. Oh, that's a beautiful scene with the snow and the snowman. 'Twas a night still and starry, and all through the house not a creature was stirring. Just one little mouse. Just one little mouse. Mouse was peeking all around to see what good things could be found. Up on the table, Mouse found something sweet and sparkly. Something sweet and sparkly. What could it be? You're right. It was a cookie. Look at the Christmas cookies. And something warm and melty. Oh, it was a cup of, you're right, hot chocolate. Yum, yum, hot cocoa. And then something cool and sticky. It was a candy cane. You're right, a candy cane. Next to the window, Mouse found something jingly and glinty. And it sounded like this. It was Jingle Bells. And something bright and flickery. It was a candle. And something fine and silvery. It was, you're right, an angel. High on the mantel, Mouse found something soft and felty. It was a stocking. There's a stocking. And something white and floaty. It was a snow globe. Oh, do you have a snow globe? They're so fun to shake and watch the snow come down. And something tinkly and twirling. Oh, it was a music box. You wind it up and the ballerina twirls round and round. It was a music box. Then, there in the corner, Mouse found something tall and prickly. Oh, what could that be? Something tall and prickly? You're right, it was a tree. And something boxy and ribbony and lots of them. Oh, and that would be presents. Then Mouse found someone whiskery and jolly. Oh, oh, oh. Who do you think it was? It was Santa Claus. And Santa Claus whispered, "'Tis your very first Christmas, and all through the house no one is loved more than you, little mouse." And that's Mouse's first Christmas. I bet you guessed all those experiences for little Mouse. It was his first time of seeing jingle bells and candy canes and all kinds of wonderful things for the holidays. And as we said earlier, it's also Hanukkah in the month of December. There's various celebrations, and they all involve light and candles, presents. Now, Hanukkah begins on December 10th, and it runs for 8 days. Sammy Spider is there watching the Shapiro family as they begin their celebration of Hanukkah. And it's going to be 8 days of Hanukkah. How many legs does the spider have? You're right, 8. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 legs. And this is Sammy Spider. Let's join Sammy in our book, Sammy Spider's First Hanukkah. Very good. And it's written by Sylvia Rose. A book of colors and numbers. So this is a really fantastic book. Sammy Spider shivered in his web high up on the Shapiro's living room ceiling. There's that Sammy. Here's our Sammy. "Look, Mother," he called. "What is Mrs. Shapiro lighting?" "It's a menorah," answered Mrs. Spider. "The Shapiros are celebrating Hanukkah. They will light one more candle every night for 8 nights. "Oh, it's beautiful," said Sammy, as he lowered himself on a strand of webbing to take a closer look. "Be careful," warned Mrs. Spider. "Don't get too close." "Well, why? What would happen?" "Oh, there's the candle lit with a little flame, so we don't want Sammy to burn his feet, right?" It was the first night of Hanukkah. Sammy stopped right above the shamus, the helper candle that Mrs. Shapiro had used to light the first candle. "Mother, the flame feels so good on my cold feet," Sammy said. Mr. Shapiro reached into his pocket and handed Josh a bright blue dreidel. This is a dreidel. Sammy hovered above the flame and listened as Mr. Shapiro told Josh the story of the Maccabees and the miracle of the oil. The smell of frying potato latkes filled the room. Josh gave the dreidel a spin and squealed with delight because it was spinning. It was spinning so fast that Sammy the Spider felt a little dizzy watching from above. A dreidel is like a little top. You can spin it. It's actually a game. When the candles had melted and the flames flickered out, the Shapiros announced bedtime and took Josh upstairs. "It's your bedtime too, Sammy," called Mrs. Spider. Sammy climbed the strand of silk webbing and crawled into a cozy corner. Mrs. Spider gently tucked him in. "Mother," asked Sammy, "do you think I could have a blue dreidel to spin?" But Mother said, "Silly little Sammy. Spiders don't spin dreidels. Spiders spin webs." 2. On the second night of Hanukkah, Sammy watched expectantly as Mrs. Shapiro helped Josh light 2 candles. Oh, his feet were cold and he wanted to warm them near the flame again. Tonight, Mr. Shapiro gave Josh a bright red dreidel. Now Josh had 2 dreidels. Everyone sang Hanukkah songs and ate donuts filled with sweet red cherry filling. The spinning dreidels made Sammy even dizzier. That night, when Mrs. Spider tucked Sammy into his soft web, he asked, "Mother, do you think I could have a red dreidel to spin?" "Silly little Sammy," his mother answered. "Spiders don't spin dreidels. Spiders spin webs." 3. On the third night, Sammy once again warmed his feet above the menorah and watched as the Shapiros used the Sammys to light 3 candles. They gave Josh a yellow dreidel. Now he had how many dreidels? 3 dreidels to spin. 1, 2, 3. Oh, the dreidels twisted and twirled across the floor until the red one dropped and then the blue and at last the yellow. "Oh, Mother, could I have a yellow dreidel to spin?" Sammy asked at bedtime. But you know what Mother said? "Silly little Sammy," she said. "Spiders don't spin dreidels. Spiders spin webs." Each night, Sammy watched from his warm perch above the Sammys. On the 4th night, the Shapiros lit 4 candles and gave Josh a green dreidel. On the 5th night, they lit 5 candles and gave Josh a purple dreidel. On the 6th night, they lit 6 candles and gave Josh an orange dreidel. On the 7th night, they lit how many candles? 7 candles, that's right. And Josh got a rose-colored dreidel. Sammy had to raise himself a little higher on his web because with all those candles, his feet were getting hot. On the 8th night, and remember how many days of Hanukkah? 8. On the 8th night, Sammy felt sad as he watched the Shapiros light all 8 candles and gave Josh a brown wooden dreidel. "I'm going to miss Hanukkah," he thought. "I won't smell the delicious latkes. I won't hear any Hanukkah songs. I won't be able to watch Josh spin all his colorful dreidels, and how will I warm my feet? If only I could have just 1 dreidel," he thought, as the 8 dreidels danced merrily across the floor. What fun I would have. And then he remembered his mother's words. "Spiders don't spin dreidels, Sammy. Spiders spin webs." But when the last candle flickered out and Sammy climbed reluctantly up the web to bed, his mother smiled and handed him a gift and said, "Happy Hanukkah, Sammy." There's gifts in Hanukkah, and now Sammy has a gift. Let's open it. Sammy opened the package. Let's open the package. Oh, it's always so fun to open packages. And inside the packages, Sammy Spider found 8 little socks. 8 little socks for each night of Hanukkah, and 1 for each of his 8 little feet. Each sock was a different color, and on each one Mrs. Spider had spun a little dreidel. Sammy Spider got dreidels, so Sammy pulled on his new socks. Let's help Sammy. There was a blue sock. Let's give Sammy a blue. There was a blue sock. And see the dreidel at the end? Up. Come on. There you go. See the dreidel at the end? So, that kept his feet warm. And there was a red sock with a red dreidel. There was a yellow. Do you remember what came next? There was a yellow sock with a yellow dreidel. Oh, Sammy Spider's mother had been busy. She spun a green sock with a green dreidel. And then she had a purple sock with a purple dreidel. There you have the purple sock. And an orange sock with an orange dreidel. And then a rose-colored sock with a rose-colored dreidel. And lastly, a brown sock with a brown wooden dreidel. Wow, look at Sammy Spider. He was so happy. His feet would now stay warm, and he had his very own dreidels to spin. He slid happily down the silky strand and began to spin faster and faster. "Look, Mother," he shouted, "I'm spinning my dreidels, all 8 of them." And there's Sammy, and let's count his socks and his dreidels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, Sammy Spider. He was very happy. Now his feet will stay warm in the cold winter. And his mother gave him a wonderful gift of stockings and dreidels. Well, I hope you have a very wonderful holiday in whichever way you celebrate. Just being with your family, sharing a good meal, maybe sharing with a neighbor, or however you celebrate. I hope it'll be wonderful. And remember to come by and pick up your craft kit so you can put together a little mouse. You'll have googly eyes and whiskers and ears and a pom-pom nose. And then you'll also have a candy cane. And I've cut slots, so very carefully you'll want to weave it through. And then you can have a candy cane tail. And also wanted to let you know to sign up for a candy construction. We will have that, but it'll be a take home. So we'll have everything you need to build your real gingerbread house. Just come by the library and pick it up starting a week from, starting this Friday. This coming Friday, you can come pick up your kit. But you have to register, so I want you to tell your parents to register right now because I don't want you to miss out. So, thank you. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you coming up in January. Come by and get your candy canes. Bye-bye, and happy holidays. Bye-bye.